Well, my name is Peter Levitan. I have been in the marketing and advertising world since about 1975. I started as a photographer, commercial photographer. I then went to work at the world's largest agency, Saatchi & Saatchi Advertising Worldwide. I worked in New York, London. I opened an office in Minneapolis. That was 16 years. Then when I came back from London in '95, I said, what is the internet? And I started two internet companies. One put newspapers online for a very large publishing company, and the second was a company that created natural language bots for instant messaging. And that meant that people could talk to a computer, have a conversation. After that, I moved to Portland, Oregon, started my own advertising agency, sold that a few years ago, and now I consult globally with advertising agencies. Advertising, certainly when I started in the business in the 80s, was a lot of fun. It was complex. It was where, in many cases, the cool people went, so it looked pretty good when I was young. Advertising also gives us the opportunity to work with different clients on different media, different platforms, so it's a very exciting business if you have the kind of brain that likes to do new things every day. I think it's important that the person be a good communicator and that they be curious. I've been a very big fan of curiosity. It's troubling when I meet people that don't actually seem to be interested in new things. So being curious is important, especially in the marketing world today, where there seems to be something new every day. Well, I think it's complex. I think today, there is so much information coming at people, so many choices, so many ways to view things. Just on your phone, people have dozens of apps on their phone. People have multiple television stations. When I grew up, there were essentially 3-4 television stations in New York. Now there are hundreds. It's just, there's so much. So marketing has to figure out how to get people's attention and deliver a message that people remember, pay attention to, absorb, and react to. I'll give you an example since we're in Asia. Many years ago, I had Northwest Airlines as a client. And what we realized in the 80s, and so this is a long time ago, that many American business people were starting to do business in Asia. So I had an airline as a client, and most of the time all airlines ever did was say, we have nice planes, we have nice food, we have nice seats, we fly from New York to Tokyo, fly us. What we did for Northwest Airlines is we added a program where we helped people who flew on Northwest Airlines know how to do business in Asia, which meant that they understood how to have a meeting in Tokyo, how to deal with the culture of Tokyo, how to deal with the culture of India. Because as a business person, when you land in Delhi, it's a good idea to understand how people in India think. And while that was not about seats on the airplane, the size of the airplane, the direct route, what it did was it added something to the message. It was sort of icing on the cake of Northwest Airlines, and that won us a lot of awards for effective marketing. I think we're all in sort of mini boxes these days, and yes, the idea of out of the box makes sense. One has to be an innovator. One should try to find insights. We all see the same data, but individually we can find insights, valuable insights that are going to be different from the next person. I think what's happened, unfortunately, but I think this will change, is in many cases advertising has gotten a bit narrow. We have 2 or 3 companies that seem to be controlling the advertising market, and I'm talking digitally right now. That's Facebook, Amazon, and Google. And I think that has affected advertising. I think it makes it more important for people to be more conscious of data and data collection, which can be good or, as we all know, can be bad. So I think the future of advertising is in understanding the major platforms, but in finding new ways to use them. I am not very knowledgeable about TikTok, but we have millions of kids in the world using TikTok. I think it's imperative, again, going back to the beginning of what I said, that advertising people pay attention to the change and that they look at the new platforms and that they use it. So the future of advertising is in many cases about something that is new, which is just paying attention to the changes in the digital landscape. But importantly, it's remembering that it always comes down to good ideas. It's not just data and it's not just digital. If you have a good idea and you know how to say it and show it, you will win the game. The one always has to be moving forward. There's a metaphor sometimes I use, which is about sharks, as in the big fish. Sharks have to keep moving forward to survive. That's how sharks live their life. And to me, it's very important to just keep moving forward. Whenever I get static and I feel like I haven't had a new idea or trying something new or scaring myself even, I get worried about that. So I think it's important, especially for students, to know that they need to keep swimming forward.